Trouble aboard. Two men face charges for boarding a sailboat trying to rob its owner. A teenager struck in the street dies. Now police are on the hunt for the driver who didn't stop.
Temperatures this afternoon once again below the averages, but the humidity goes up and so does the rain chance over the weekend. Your forecast ahead.
Neighbors seeing red when a woman goes on a spray painting spree. 7 News at 6 starts now.
First at 6, a pirate's life for 2 men lands them in court. They are accused of boarding a sailboat in Gloucester trying to rob the owner.
Yeah, the victim says the 2 men got away in a boat flying the skull and crossbones flag. 7's Victoria Warren in Gloucester with more.
Forget the high seas. Apparently, this pirate adventure taking place right here in Gloucester Harbor, and that pirate flag they were flying, police say, made it pretty easy to catch the suspects. The peace of Gloucester Harbor disturbed when a small boat with a bold flag sneaks in the middle of the night.
The sailing vessel in the harbor called and reported that they had 2 men get on board their boat, threatened to use a weapon to rob them.
Police say Stephen Jetty and Scott Stanton's illegal treasure hunt was foiled when the owner of the sailboat they boarded startled them. The would-be pirates frightened away, but not before the victim got a good look at their boat's telltale sign.
He said it was flying a Jolly Roger pirate's flag.
He was out on one of these moorings. I think
Longtime Gloucester resident Herb Winterberg listened to the hijinks on his radio.
If they're going to do it, why not do it in a rowboat? You might get away in a rowboat. You won't get away in a big boat because where are you going to put it?
Police knew the suspects were still in the harbor, so when they went to search for them, the first place they put their boats in the waters off of Pirates Lane. The pretend pirates found not too far away, cornered by police in Smith's Cove, their boat identified by the black pirate flag. And while they didn't have to walk the plank, they did have to go before a judge.
Lucky nobody got hurt, and we were able to make the arrests.
Only in Gloucester. Where else would something like that happen? How stupid can you be?
Both men entered not guilty pleas. One man was held on bail. The other man released on his own recognizance. When he got out, the first place he came, right back down to the water. He claimed his boat and left with that pirate flag still flying. Live in Gloucester, Victoria Warren, 7 News.
A teenager is killed, struck on the street while riding his skateboard in Taunton. And now police are looking for the driver who didn't stop. 7's Dan Housley is in Taunton. He has details.
Well, I'm along the street. As you can see, it is very busy, not only with drivers, but with people coming to a nearby park. So it's understandable how someone might get hit, but relatives of the victim, they can't understand how the driver could just drive on.
Oh, God, please just come forward.
You can hear the pain in Cheryl Costa's voice as she pleads for the hit-and-run driver who struck and killed her 17-year-old nephew, Nicholas Silva Thomas, to step out of the shadows.
He turned the lights off after he hit him.
Yes.
Because the woman was coming the opposite way, and she saw
the car
shut his lights off.
The bleach blonde Nicholas was skateboarding with his friends in this park near Watson Pond, like he did so many other Thursday nights. On windy Bay Street right nearby, Nick's best friend saw him hit and dragged him to the side of the road. The 17-year-old getting ready to be a driver himself.
And he had 1 more week of driving.
I know, Dad. 1 more week for driver's ed, and he was going to get his license. Just a sad, sad thing.
Nicholas was a soon-to-be senior at Taunton High, a member of the wrestling team. Now, relatives are left looking for answers that can only come from the person who ended his story much too soon.
Nobody knows what the situation actually was other than the people involved. So we have lots of questions. You know, is it an accident? Things happened. I mean, unfortunately, we've lost a loved one, but please don't be out there hiding. Come forward. You know, it's all we ask.
Nobody apparently was able to give a description of the hit-and-run car, not Nicholas's friend who saw him hit, and not the woman who saw the lights go out in the car. She was driving the other way and apparently drove off the road because she was trying to avoid the accident. That's why relatives are trying to get this driver to come forward on their own. We're live in Taunton. Dan Housley, 7 News.
And now the weather. It has been pretty cool the last couple of days, but get ready for a weekend warm-up. Taking a live look outside right now. Beautiful, clear skies, lots of sun, but the question is, what is in store for this weekend? Here's meteorologist Chris Lambert to answer it.
Yeah, Michelle, along with the warmer weather, we're dealing with higher humidity and the higher rain chance, especially tomorrow night into Sunday. Taking a look at the satellite picture now outside, not much going on. We have had a couple of showers across western Mass, but that's been across western Mass, relatively quiet across our area. And with that northeasterly to easterly breeze, 73 in Boston. In the meantime, it's close to 80 in a lot of the suburbs back through Metro West, but a comfortable evening, although humidity does start to creep up overnight tonight. Taking a look at the forecast for tomorrow, it is a warmer day, especially near the coastline. Instead of the lower to middle 70s, I think we'll be closer to 80 degrees, lower 80s just away from the coastline. And tomorrow is a mainly dry day. The shower threat really gets in here tomorrow night, mainly after midnight and into Sunday. And if we're going to get some heavier downpours, I think it's going to be late overnight tomorrow night into Sunday morning. So we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, tomorrow, again, mainly dry. There may be an isolated shower, but I think it's the pick of the weekend. More on the 7-day forecast coming up.
Disturbing allegations against a Stoneham man. 41-year-old Brian Saucier was arraigned on murder charges stemming from the death of his infant son. Prosecutors say he violently shook the newborn 8 years ago to get him to stop crying. The child never fully recovered, needing around-the-clock care until his death in May of this year. Saucier was sentenced to 9 years in prison for the assault. Prosecutors have now upgraded the charges to murder.
I've spoken to him. He's aware of what the charge is, where it stems from. But other than that, I have nothing further to say.
He pleaded not guilty to the upgraded charges and is due back in court next month.
A grief-stricken community remembering a young life lost. Officials in Stewartstown are dedicating an annual summer fair to 11-year-old Selena Cass. She was found dead not far from her home on Monday. The fair will be held in a small town park. It's the same spot where people gathered for several candlelight vigils during the search for Selena Cass. The fifth grader was missing for a week before her body was found in the Connecticut River. An autopsy failed to determine a cause of death, but investigators are considering it suspicious.
A car makes a crashing entrance into a home in Somerville. It smashed into this house on Highland Avenue early this morning, doing serious damage to the porch. The young woman behind the wheel was arrested for driving under the influence. No one was hurt.
It was an up and down day on Wall Street, but stocks appear to have bounced back from the biggest single-day loss since 2008. Yesterday, the Dow fell more than 500 points, erasing all gains for the year. But today, stocks ended on a positive note, up more than 60 points to close at 1144. However, the Nasdaq fell again, losing 21 points to close at 2,534.
A mysterious donation to a committee supporting Mitt Romney is being called into question. A company called WSpan donated $1 million in April. Documents show the company formed, made the donation to the independent committee, and then dissolved all in 4 months. The donation is raising concerns about secretive campaign funding. The Campaign Legal Center is requesting an investigation. Massachusetts Senator John Kerry plans to seek a 6th term. The Bay State senior senator says he's started the fundraising process for his 2014 campaign. Kerry also denies rumors that he may be positioning himself to be tapped as Secretary of State if President Obama wins re-election next year. And coming up on 7, a woman in New Bedford arrested for allegedly spray painting buildings, cars, and her neighbors.
And the Evil Empire marches into Fenway Park. A preview of this weekend's Sox-Yankees battle for first coming up in sports.
7 News, on the air, on the web, on your phone, and now on your iPad. The 7 News iPad app. Download it for free. Search WHDH in the iTunes Store and get 7 News on your iPad today.
7 News is brought to you in part by Lexus, with attractive finance and lease offers now readily available.
7 News at 11.
Breaking news in Boston tonight.
Know it first. Know it fast. Know the facts.
A miraculous recovery.
Know what's happening.
Breaking news out of
7 News at 11. Now you know.
I walk for my wife, Lori, and for everyone fighting cancer at Dana-Farber.
We walked last year, and we'll walk this year.
To help my dad beat cancer.
I walk for my friend Rich, so we can have many more birthdays.
We walk for my mother and my brother, and for other families who battled cancer.
My friends walk for me. Who will you walk for?
The Boston Marathon Jimmy Fund Walk, supporting Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Sunday, September 18th. Register at jimmyfundwalk.org.
Life is full of missed opportunities. Like the race of your life you never ran. Or the trip around the world you never took. See your Lexus dealer.
Say it, don't spray it. Angry neighbors confront a woman they say spray painted buildings and cars with some obscene phrases, and they say she didn't stop there.
She allegedly went after people and even a dog. 7's Tim Caputo has the story.
Semi-religious and fully offensive graffiti on practically every single home on this block, and police say that vandal targeted people and pets too. In bold black letters, one woman allegedly tagged an entire block, spray painting nearly everything in sight, even people.
I went up to her and I asked what she was doing, and she pretty much told me to mind my business, and she looked at me and sprayed my face.
Phillips Avenue in New Bedford is still marked with the borderline blasphemous vandalism.
I mean, if you look on this building right behind me, it says the end is near. I'm like, you know, that's not something, I got kids, I don't need them to see that, you know, ask me who Satan is.
Christ is Satan and Satan deserves respect are the G-rated graffiti.
It was black spray paint and it said Father Satan of the world.
According to court paperwork on Tuesday evening, a 41-year-old woman who actually lives on this street vandalized homes, businesses, and even spray painted this dog's face. When she was confronted by some neighbors, she allegedly spray painted them too.
It took a little to wash it off.
The woman was arrested but has since been released from jail. No one answered the door when we stopped by. By now, some of the more offensive graffiti has been painted over.
I had a can of paint. I said I'm doing it myself.
Other words remain, and many are still bothered by these semi-satanic sayings.
Well, my whole family we're all Catholic, so I'm very offended that somebody would do that. Somebody would have so much hatred around God.
Because people and pets were involved, that woman charged with more than just vandalism. She's now facing a count of assault and battery with a deadly weapon, as well as one count of animal cruelty. In New Bedford, Tim Caputo, 7 News.
All right, it's Friday, it's the weekend, and then we got gorgeous weather, but we're looking ahead too for Saturday and Sunday.
That's right, and Chris telling us you're gonna need those umbrellas, huh?
Well, yeah, at some points you will, although we do get some dry times in there, especially tomorrow. By the time we roll into Sunday morning, chance for downpours out there. I'll go over the forecast ahead.
And coming up in 7 Sports at Fenway Park for the Red Sox and Yankees, where it took 110 games, so we're right back to where we started on opening day. Sox and Yanks tied atop the AL East. We'll preview the first place battle next.
All right, how about this? If you see something that you think needs investigating by our Hank, give us a call. Our investigative reporter, Hank Philippi Ryan, wants to hear your tips. Here's our number, 855-247-HANK, or email her at tellhank@WHDH.com.
Click ChooseNissan. Order your Reed Sperry shed now and pay no sales tax. Next weekend is the Massachusetts sales tax holiday, and Reed Sperry is tax-free now. Tons of sheds priced below the limit. Hundreds of size and style combos tax-free. Log on to reedsperry.com. Choose your shed now and pay no sales tax. It's Reed Sperry Sheds tax-free sale.
Call 888-85-SHEDS.
If it says Reed Sperry, you got a good one. Tax-free.
Click ChooseNissan.com for every new Nissan. Click ChooseNissan.com for every local offer. Click ChooseNissan.com for every local dealer. Click ChooseNissan.com today.
7 News. Today in New England. Everything you need to know and go.
Good morning, everyone.
News.
This just coming into the newsroom.
Weather. Fast track traffic. You know it's 7. When you see Adam, Ann, Amanda, and Dylan, you know it's 7. 7 News. Today in New England. Weekdays at 5 a.m.
A retired Wellfleet fire chief taking on a new job that has a nice ring to it. Alan Height now spends time combing Cape beaches with his metal detector, looking for hidden treasures in the sand. Well, his talents came in handy last week when he found a wedding ring worth $4,000. The owner of that ring contacted officials who contacted Height, hoping for the best.
I thought it was pretty amazing because he lost it Saturday and we didn't get out until Wednesday morning. That was chances were slimmer with every day that goes by.
All right, well, Haidt spent an hour walking the beach with his metal detector until he actually found that ring under 6 inches of sand. So, you know what? Every New England beach should have a Mr. Haidt on it, just in case you lose something, then you'll be able to find it.
It's always good to be prepared. I think today was a good beach day, but tomorrow will be even better, especially with the heat and the humidity going to pick up there, huh, Chris?
Yeah, that's right. I still can't believe it only took him an hour to find that. It's like a needle in a haystack out there. 72 in Boston, 76 in Bedford, 77 in Nord. We have had a few showers across western Mass. I think most of these are going to start to fade away once the sun sets and you lose the daytime heating, so there's not going to be a whole lot of rain that gets into the eastern 2/3 of the state. So mostly cloudy skies tonight. We will see more clouds working in. Not as cool as the past couple of overnights, middle to upper 60s. As winds turn more out of the south, the humidity levels do go up. We're going from the lower 60s dew point wise, which is right now, back into the 70-degree range on Saturday and Sunday. So a more humid weekend, and with a lot of humidity in the air, a lot of moisture in the air, it is going to be easier for some of these pop-up showers to form. But notice how they're few and far between, even off to the west of us. So tomorrow's chance, even though we have an isolated shower or two in the forecast, they're going to be few and far between, and you're still going to get more dry times than anything else. So all in all, tomorrow not a bad day, although we have higher humidity and a little bit warmer as temperatures approach the lower to middle 80s, especially right away from the coastline. Taking a look off to the west of us, there are a couple of disturbances, and each day they continue to fire off a complex of showers and storms. Some of them fall apart, some of them continue to move off to the east. It looks like there will be a batch of rain, though, that does move through southern New England tomorrow night into Sunday. So I think tomorrow during the day, we're okay for the most part. Anytime after 10 o'clock tomorrow night or midnight tomorrow night into Sunday morning, that would be the highest opportunity for us to pick up on some of these showers and rumbles of thunder. And if we are close enough to this area of low pressure, there is going to be a band of some heavier downpours. We'll watch for that on Sunday morning. I think Sunday morning would be the highest threat for seeing some downpours rolling in. And then by Sunday afternoon, this should become either more hit and miss or just tapering off. So Sunday morning looking like the worst half of Sunday, and it looks like on Sunday afternoon we do look a little bit better out there. 10 o'clock tomorrow in the evening, some scattered showers working in, but again, most of tomorrow on the dry side. 7-on-7 forecast looking like this. We will have limited sun on Sunday, maybe a couple of breaks in later in the afternoon. On Monday, we'll have some breaks of sun in the morning. Then we'll have humidity increase as we go through the afternoon. We'll have another disturbance work in, and that will trigger off some scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. So Monday, not a washout. We'll just have to deal with those hit and miss showers and storms in the afternoon. Same case on Tuesday and Wednesday, still lingering humidity. Another threat for another passing shower or thunderstorm. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, even though it's unsettled, we get our dry times too. If we're looking for that lower humidity and the comfortable weather that we have had the past few days, it may return by next Friday. Just got to wait a while. And all in all, this weekend, not too bad. At least we get into tomorrow. You just have to keep an eye to the sky on Sunday and keep those umbrellas handy.
And now, time for 7 Sports with Wet Lewis.
Coming to you live at Fenway Park for Red Sox and Yankees. It is the biggest rivalry in sports, and it gets even bigger tonight with first place on the line. Both teams sitting tied atop the AL East with identical 68 and 42 records, but that will all change by night's end. And aside from home field advantage, the Sox have a few other things going their way tonight, starting with the fact that they have owned the Yankees this season. The Sox taking 8 of their first 9 meetings against the Pinstripes, including a 3-game sweep in the Bronx back in early June. Since that series, the Yankees have gone 35-15, while the Sox have won 32 games. Only one of these teams will finish the night with sole possession of first place in the division.
They're feeling good about themselves offensively, and they're doing it right from the very first inning. I mean, they're running some guys out of there before they can get, before they can get into the game. They've thrown a crooked number on them. We're aware of that. We always have a hot and a not hot thing in our scouting report. There's not too many guys on that not hot.
This series is a big series. There's still a lot of baseball to go, but it is a big series. So when you think about, what's at stake, it gives you that extra energy that you need.
The other thing the Sox have going for them tonight is literally having John Lester go for them tonight. The lefty 8-1 lifetime against the Yankees in 14 career starts. Although he's won his last 5 against the Bombers, Lester hasn't quite dominated the Yanks this season, allowing 7 runs over his last 2 outings, both in the Bronx. And the Sox may have found the missing piece to their rotation in the form of Eric Bedard. The lefty solid in his Red Sox debut last night, giving up 3 runs in 5 innings of work and adding 5 strikeouts, but actually pitched better than than his line really indicated. And with Clay Buchholz on the DL for the foreseeable future, Bedard might fit nicely into that number 3 spot in the Red Sox rotation. All right, the Patriots back to work at Gillette Stadium today, and earlier in the day signing free agent defensive end Mark Anderson. Anderson actually spent last season with the Texans but had his best year back in 2006, registering 12 sacks as a rookie with the Chicago Bears. And Tom Brady and the Pats offense putting a lot of emphasis on the running game in today's practice. The lockout and subsequent elimination of passing camps and rookie camps have resulted in plenty of pressure, not just on rookies, but on veterans as well. With their first preseason game coming in less than a week, the players know they don't have a whole lot of time to get up to speed.
Missed a lot of practices this summer, so the time that we have on the field is so valuable, and we can't afford to make mistakes and get behind because we're already behind. There's a lot of ground to make up, so be a tough year to be a young player to come in and learn what they're doing, but they're trying the best they can, and we're making plenty of mistakes, but we're trying to get them corrected.
Play of the day, brought to you by Xfinity.
Back to the Sox game last night. Boston Herald sports writer Michael Vega with some quick reflexes in the press box. Vega, friend of the department, makes the snag for our play of the day. All right, back here at Fenway, it's Red Sox and Yankees. John Lester versus Bartolo Colon. First pitch, 7:10. We'll have all the highlights for you on 7 News at 11. Reporting live at Fenway Park, I'm Rhett Lewis, 7 Sports.
All right, thanks a lot, Rhett.
We'll be right back.
Play 7 News at 11.
First on 7, a car crashing into the side of a Natick hospital.
The FAA lands a deal to get employees back to work.
Big stories.
Fierce flames destroying a piece of history in Groton.
A woman with Bay State ties lost, then found in the Oregon woods.
Unbeatable coverage.
The 17-year-old was digging a giant tunnel in the sand when it collapsed on top of him.
When you see a newscast that really delivers, you know it's 7 News at 11.
Tonight, 100 years later, why we still love Lucy. Tonight on NBC Nightly News.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Rutherford.
I'm Francis Rivera. Enjoy your Friday. It's gorgeous out there. Have a fantastic weekend. And if you can, join us back here tonight. Good night.